We've all done it. Whispered a phrase under our breath, muttered a plan, or said our own name in frustration. Come on, you can do this. Talking to yourself might seem like something only eccentric genius or cotton villains do, but the truth is far more interesting. Science shows that this small habit is deeply tied to how our minds develop, how we focus, and even how we stay calm. So before you judge for talking to yourself, here are 5 fascinating facts that prove it's one of your brain's greatest tools. If you enjoy learning how the mind works, hit subscribe and let's begin. You weren't born with a voice inside your head. That quiet narrator, the one that comments, plans, and argues with you, actually develops. Psychologists like Lev Vygotsky noticed that young children first think out loud. Now the car goes here. No, wait, it crashes. At first it's external speech, but around age 5 to 7, the chatter turns inward. The brain internalizes spoken patterns, and that's when our inner voice is born. From that moment on, we stop saying things out loud, but we never stop talking to ourselves. It's how we plan, imagine, and reason. In a way, self-talk is the foundation of human consciousness. It's what lets us not just think, but hear ourselves think. Here's the strange part. When you hear yourself in your head, your ears aren't doing anything. The sound isn't real. It's a simulation your brain creates. Neuroscientists found that when we talk to ourselves silently, the auditory cortex, the part that processes sound, lights up as if we were actually listening to someone. But no sound waves, no vibrations, no real voice. Your brain is predicting what your voice would sound like, a kind of mental rehearsal. That's why the voice in your head sounds smoother, calmer, or just different from your recorded voice. It's not a sound, it's memory. Some researchers even think this simulated loop helps us separate thought from real sound. And when that line blurs, that's when auditory hallucinations can occur. So yes, your inner voice is real, but it's also imaginary. If your brain simulates your voice internally, what happens when you actually use it? Turns out, your performance improves. A study from the University of Wisconsin showed that when people said the object they were looking for, like red pen, out loud, they found it faster. The sound of your voice acts as a cue. It activates both auditory and visual areas, sensing what you say with what you see. When you talk out loud, your brain filters distraction and locks in on the goal. That's why we naturally mutter through tasks. Okay, upload first, now the password. It's your brain coordination system in real time. Attention, speech, and action all working together. In short, talking out loud helps you think clearly and faster. Watch any athlete closely. A tennis player whispering between points, a runner at the starting line, and you'll see self-talk in action. Athletes use this not just to motivate, but to control performance. Research shows that instructional self-talk, phrases like stay balanced or focus on breathing, improves accuracy and coordination far more than you can do it. It's a way of turning conscious effort into automatic rhythm. Serena Williams uses short affirmations to refocus between thoughts. Michael Phelps whispers his timing before a race. This isn't superstition, it's neuroscience in motion. When you hear your own voice, your mind and body sync. Even outside sports, during public speaking or stressful exams, self-talk regulates emotion and keeps your actions steady. It's mental training, and everyone can do it. Here is a trick backed by science. When you talk to yourself, use your own name. It might sound odd, Nick, relax, but studies show it works. When you say I'm nervous, your brain experiences the emotion personally. But when you say, Nick, you are nervous, your brain hears it as advice. It creates distance, what psychologists call distant self-talk. This shift changes how you regulate emotion. In experiments, people who use their own names made decisions more rationally, calmed down faster, and performed better under stress. The speaker and the listener, the friend and the advisor, inside your own head. It's a simple linguistic trick that changes perspective and maybe even the way you handle life itself. So next time you catch yourself whispering, don't stop. Science says you are just giving your brain a tune up. Your inner voice is one of your mind's most powerful tools, shaping focus, emotion, and even consciousness itself. If you enjoyed learning how your brain secretly talks to you, hit like, tap subscribe, and share this video with someone who always thinks out loud. Talk to yourself. Your brain is listening. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.